So let us develop a work breakdown structure for the PMP certification project. So here is the WBS for PMP certification project. The first thing is maybe one key thing is 35 contact hours we should earn. For this we may have to identify trainer and then attend training. These are the two key things. Then after the training we may have to do the study, self-study, and for that my recommendation is you should read pmbok, watch videos on this PMRI campus site, so videos, and then do the practice test which will provide you, so the test practice. Parallelly, maybe we can application, filling and submission, and application processing will happen by PMI, the processing of application, and sometimes there could be an audit, so possibility of an audit could be there. Again, it's a random audit because there is no specific criteria to pick up somebody's application for audit and all. And after all these things, they'll send you a reference code. Using that reference code, you can schedule your exam in the Prometric Testing Center. So we say schedule exam, and after that maybe write exam. So here we say write exam. Now the lowest level in a WBS we call it as a work package. Now here this test is a work package. This is a work package. This is a work package. Whereas this intermediate level, it is not a work package. The lowest level in a WBS we call it as a work package. And a WBS doesn't give you or need not give you any sequence of events. So it is not on a timeline. It is just the breakup of work. And lowest level in a WBS we call it as a work package. Now, while doing a WBS, very often we get into a dilemma like where to stop. Now let's say this is level 1, this is level 2, this is level 3. I can even break it down further if I want to. Now here if you see this pmbok, I'll say you'll have to read pmbok 3 times. The first reading is a cursory reading just to understand the structure of pmbok, and the second reading must be a detailed reading with notes, preparation of notes, and the third reading could be just going through the notes to remember all those difficult to remember things. So primarily we are talking about 3 rounds of reading of pmbok, and each one is going to take maybe let's say around 8 hours each. So I think this must be broken down further into reading 1, reading 2 and reading 3. So whenever we do a WBS, always we get into this dilemma like where to stop, because if you decompose it further very to the minutest level, we may end up with activities which is not, that kind of detailing is not required. So PMI has given us this fantastic heuristic called 880 rule. 880 rule, which states that work packages could be between 8 hours to 80 hours chunks of work. So when you break it, at some point in time, you will see this work packages falling into this pattern of 8 hours to 80 hours. So smaller the project, I decompose it to a level of 8 hours, and for larger projects, it is broken down, and we stop at the 80-hour thing. The reason being, in a larger project, if I have work packages which are at, where the affinity is towards 8 hours, I may end up doing micromanagement. Whereas for a small project, if I include very large work packages, which has an affinity towards that 80 hours kind of thing, then okay, I will not see any schedule slippages. By the time I track it once or twice, the project is over. So I won't get much of a recovery time, even if there is a variance. To summarize, at WBS, once the scope is defined, we decompose the scope into a work breakdown structure. And the lowest level in a WBS, we call it as a work package. And the project managers stops exercising control at a work package level. And work packages are between 8 hours and 80 hours chunks of work. That means for small projects, the work packages could be towards that 8 hours, and for large projects, the work packages could be towards that 80 hours chunks of work, or it could be anything in between. And a WBS doesn't give us any sequence of events, it is just a breakup of work. And sometimes, if you have to, very often, especially in construction projects where project manager is sitting in some other remote location and work is happening in some other remote location, then we use something called WBS dictionary. WBS dictionary. So that is additional information about that particular work package, like a narration of the work to be performed, the geography in which it has to be performed, the successors, the predecessors, all those things can get into the WBS dictionary. So a WBS dictionary gives you help us to provide more information about that particular work package, so that the person who is doing it will not make a mistake because of lack of information. So that's it. So WBS is the key thing. Once the WBS is done, then we say that the scope is baseline. Once the WBS is finalized, then we say that the scope is baseline. So the next step is decomposing the work packages into activities and stuff like that, which we will discuss in another video. Thank you.